Hey guys! So I'm uploading a very quick video because I have a ton of brushes. Not as many as maybe a professional might have, but certainly a lot more than maybe just your average everyday, regular person might have. Um, so I just wanted to do a quick kind of overview of the kinds of brushes that I have and what they're used for, and then briefly talk to you about brushes. So this is a video about brushes. Alright, so I'm just going to start from the very top, and I'm going to start with face brushes. Okay, so here are the most common face brushes that you'll hear about. So here is your foundation brush. This is the size compared to my face. So this is from EcoTools, and I like EcoTools because obviously these are products that are made from recycled material, and they are low impact on the earth, so that's always good. I'm a big fan of things that will preserve the environment and have low impact on the environment, so that's why I use that. But this is for any kind of liquid or cream foundation, and you literally use it like a paintbrush. So you would, dip your brush in your foundation and you just paint it on your face. I don't usually like foundation brushes like this. I prefer to use my hands. I just feel like I can blend things more easily when I use my hands, but some people feel more comfortable using these brushes, but I don't usually. Okay, and then next I'm going to show you, I have two different concealer brushes, and they came in different packages. One was just a single brush, and the other one came in a set of brushes. Their shape is slightly different, like that. One is a little bit more triangle shaped, and the other one is rounder. You can see that. And this one's bristles are a little bit longer. These are both also from EcoTools, again. I really don't see how they're really different in terms of applying the makeup to my skin. Again, I prefer using my fingers. I feel like I can get more coverage that way, especially since I have acne. I just feel like using my fingers allows me to apply more product at the areas that I need it the most. Yeah, I do have these, so there's that. And then I'm going to move on. This is a Sonia Kashuk Flat Top all-purpose brush. That's what it said on the case. I use this as a stippling brush, and it's basically really what it is, but you can use it, as it says on the packaging, for many different purposes. I use it for foundation. I use a cream foundation right now, and I find that this gives me a great amount of coverage. Just by blending it in, I like it so much better than using a regular foundation brush. So I've been trying to use this instead of my hands, and I love it a lot. I haven't had such a great track record with Sonia Kashuk brushes. A lot of her brushes, so many bristles come out. I had to completely trash a powder brush that I got from her a while ago because it was just, the bristles were coming out all over my face, and sometimes these will come out over my face. And I don't take the best care of my brushes. I know it's bad. You should wash them at least once a week at the very least, if not after every use, which can be difficult. I'm in and out of my house during the week, and sometimes I just forget to wash my brushes, which I know some people will be like, how could you forget? And honestly, how could you? But to wash them and to dry them all is kind of a long process. If I wash them at night, it usually takes a full day for all of them to dry through, and especially for my thicker brushes like my powder brush and my kabuki brush, those definitely take a lot longer. So that's kind of the troublesome part of taking care of your brushes. Just not having them available to you for, you know, a day or two. But I do like this brush in practical application. Sometimes the bristles do come out, but I do like this kind of brush for foundation purposes. Okay, and next I'm going to move on to, you know, kind of powder brushes. So first I have an EcoTools powder brush. I have used this both to use for setting powder and also for blush. Recently, or more recently rather, within the last few months, I picked up a kabuki brush. This is just from Target's, you know, non-brand name, you know, generic line called Up and Up. And kabuki brushes are really great for setting powder. They pick up a lot of product, and it really helps it to evenly distribute it across your face. So I really like this for powder. But this one I've been using more for blush recently, and I like it alright. I also picked up another Sonia Kashuk brush. Sorry, there's a couple brushes that I forgot to take out. Yeah. Sorry about that, I just found one that I don't really use, so I'm going to throw it away. Anyway, so I got another Sonia Kashuk brush recently, and this is actually called her buffing brush. So I guess this is to kind of help you really get an even tone on your skin after you put foundation on your skin. This is to kind of give it that airbrush feeling. And the bristles are super, super, super soft, and there are tons and tons and tons of them. So it'll pick up a lot of product and also distribute it evenly across your face. But I have used this maybe once since I got it a few weeks ago, just because, I don't know, I've been using my other brushes. And I've been using it I used it once for my blush, and I really loved how it picked up the product and put it on my face. It picked up a lot more than this brush did. And that makes it nice so that I don't have to keep on dipping into my blush and trying to layer it on my cheeks. This just kind of got it in one pass. So I really like this. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, this one's okay. It's not the best. I would probably recommend it for just doing powder. You know, like powder foundations or finishing powders or blushes, I guess, but I do prefer this one for my blush. Okay, so then I have this Hello Kitty blush brush. It's technically called a face brush. I don't know if you can see that. But this came in like a really cute limited edition Hello Kitty like toy. It's actually a container, and it's about like yay big, and it's the NYC one, so it's got tons of colorful graffiti all over it, and it's really cute. There's a couple of different ones that are just like it, but they are differently themed. But I got the New York City themed one, or graffiti themed one, and this and a couple of other brushes came in it, which you'll see later. I don't really use these very much. Not that they're not good. They're okay. You know, these are more collector's edition things than anything else. And I bought it because I love all things Hello Kitty, and I thought it was really cute, and I wanted to see how the brushes worked. The bristles are very, very soft, which is really, really nice. But in practical application, I don't think they do that well. You're much better off getting, you know, brushes from places that actually produce like makeup, like legit makeup. And Sanrio does not really do that. So, you know, these are just kind of cute collector's things. I've used them a couple times, but they're not really that great. Okay, so then finally, my kabuki brush, which I mentioned just a few minutes ago. I really do like this a lot. I consider this one of my best new purchases, and I had lost it actually for like a few months, like 2 or 3 months. It had just fallen off of my side table or something like that, and I didn't know quite where it was, but I found it. I finally located it and washed it, and it was fine. But I really like this as far as my translucent powder goes, or my setting powder goes. I think it does a really nice job. First I used it to kind of brush it in circular motions on my face, but now I'm kind of using it to press the powder into my face instead, and I feel like that's a little bit better. I quite often have problems with my makeup not lasting me throughout the day. I do a lot of walking since I go to school in the city. So, you know, my big thing is, you know, getting sweaty and hot, just from, you know, walking around. And I tend to get very oily around my nose and my chin, and sometimes my cheeks and my forehead, but mostly my nose gets really oily and my chin. So those are problem areas, but I feel like pressing the powder into your face as opposed to brushing it over your face kind of helps to set the makeup a little bit better. So that's what I use my kabuki brush for. Okay, so I'm going to move on next to eye brushes, and oh my god, there's so many brushes. I'm not even scratching the surface of how many different types of brushes there actually are available, out there to even use. My hope is my dream is to someday at least be able to do makeup artistry as some form of a business. It would be really nice if I could capitalize on that. It's one of those fields like art where I don't think getting a license or a degree in it is necessary, as long as you're really interested in it, invested, and try to learn about it. And thank you to YouTube, because there's so many resources. There are professionals on here. There are seasoned amateurs. There are, you know, licensed makeup artists. You know, there are so many different types of, you know, makeup artists at so many different levels here, and they have so much to offer and so much to teach. So I've already learned in leaps and bounds about so many different things about makeup. You know, so I have these brushes right now. These are my personal brushes, and I don't usually do makeup on anybody else unless it's family or friends. But the point being that I would love to go and get more new brushes, especially from, you know, Sigma, which I've heard has beautiful quality brushes, but those are expensive, and so that is an investment that I'll save when I know for sure that I am going to use it. I have garnered some interest in family and friends who have asked me tips already and tricks, and have asked me to do their makeup, and that's really exciting, but it'd be nice to branch out from there. So just right now I have some, you know, kind of a beginner set of brushes. So I'm going to move on to eyes. Alright, so I'm going to start with just the application of eyeshadow, so just purely eyeshadow brushes. I'm actually missing just a couple. Sorry, let me reach out of frame for 1 minute. Maybe. My makeup basket is on my side table, and it's kind of a reach. Oh my god. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, there's a couple more brushes that I missed. Alright, so let me start with my EcoTools brushes, just because I have quite a few of them, and then I can move on to different things. Okay, so I got a nice little travel set from Target not that long ago, and it just came in this cute little like burlap kind of product, or fabric rather, case, and it has like a little mirror in it, and then it has like this little these elastic bands that hold the brushes, but it's cute, it's nice. I don't really actually use them that much to travel, but I use some of the brushes more than others. Okay, so first I'm going to start with their blending brush. So this is a fairly small brush, but it's got a nice rounded tip, and stiff but not scratchy bristles. These, I'm not quite sure. I think they're all natural bristles. I don't think they're, I don't know what animal they come from, or actually even if they are animal hair. They might actually be synthetic. Someone will have to tell me, I'm sorry. But they don't feel like natural hair brushes, which my Sonia Kashuk brush, this one, feels like natural bristles, which are generally very soft, and you can tell what is natural and what are not natural. These ones, I think, are definitely plastic, and this is an EcoTools one, so these might also be plastic, but I'm not sure. But anyway, this is technically called their blending brush, and I don't use it for blending. I think that it's the perfect shape to kind of apply the first, layer of eyeshadow on, and even just like, simple makeup. It's kind of large as far as the shape goes, so that's why I like to use it for that first initial layer. But I don't really use it for blending. Next is their crease brush, and this is an angled brush, and it's also kind of fluffy. I don't really use this one. I don't see why having an angled brush is that really that needed, actually. But other people might need to use that. I just use a large fluffy brush. Okay, and then they have their highlighting brush. It's kind of hard to see, but this is kind of a fluffy brush, and I use this for blending, and I do also use it for highlighter, or for highlighting purposes for my eyes. Then they have a shader brush. This is super duper small, so I would use this for maybe if I'm doing a cut crease, or if I want to get really deep colors in my crease, or along my lash line, but I don't really use it to actually do any kind of big shading. And then finally they have their smudge brush. This is one of the brushes that I found most useful since I bought that kit, and I use it all the time. This is really great for smoking out your eyeliner. So I use this quite a lot, and I also use it to do my inner corners as well, for my eyes. Okay. And then I guess I will do some eyeshadow brushes now, and then we'll do liner brushes after that, and then that will basically wrap up the video. So it's already 18 minutes long, sorry, but this is kind of an informational video outside of tutorials, so I'll let that slide. Okay, so I'm going to do the Hello Kitty brushes first. So these are two brushes that came with the Hello Kitty set, and there's two other brushes that came with it, but I'll cover those later. This one is their shader brush. It's cute. It has pink tipped, or blue tipped bristles, like the color of the handle. The blush brush kind of has this purple, and the bristles are also tipped purple. And there's this eyeshadow brush, which is a pink handle and pink tipped bristles. Then there is the angled eyeliner brush, which is a dark blue with dark blue bristles. And then it also came with this lip brush, which I don't usually use. Actually, I don't think I've ever used it at all. But it has a black handle and kind of gray tips, and it comes in this little silver, has a little silver sheath. But anyway, so I'm going to talk about these two. Like I said, I don't really use these because I feel like they're more collectible items instead of actual practical use brushes. You can use them if you want, but I have better brushes, so I use those instead. I would use this for all over shadow, and then I would use this for more detailed shadow, but I would also use this for blending. But like I said, I don't usually use them, so there's that. Okay, and then I will move on to my other brushes. So this is one of my oldest brushes. This is from Revlon. This is called the Contour Shadow Brush, which is basically a fancy term for a blending brush. This is nice and fluffy. These are synthetic bristles. I like it because it's not terribly round. It's actually a nice kind of straight up and down shape, which I really like, and it's tapered, so that's really nice. I use it a lot for blending. I also use it to actually apply the shadow and then blend it out. So I really like this. It's fine. It's lasted me a long time, and I haven't had much problem with the bristles coming out, which is really nice. Then I have this brush from Sonia Kashuk, which I also bought, and this is actually called her contour shadow brush, I believe, as well, or a blending brush, I think. It doesn't actually have any text on the handle, and I think this is one of the older versions of her brushes. Her newer brushes, I have these kind of white handles with the metallic details. Sorry. And this one's just black, and I like this actually because it has this kind of ergonomic grip to it, and it's supposed to fit really nicely in your hand. I like it. I actually like that a lot. I think it's very comfortable, and I think that it's intuitive to use, so I like it a lot. And like the Revlon contour brush, it has this nice tapered feeling. It's not really fluffy, and it's got nice soft bristles, so these are probably natural bristles, not synthetic. So I really like that a lot. Then I have two very similar brushes. This one I've had longer. This one is from Sephora, and this came in a kit that I ordered years ago, 2 years ago maybe. And this is from their professional brush line, as you can see, and it's called their All Over Shadow Brush. It's number 22, and I use this quite often. This is another brush that I would use to kind of apply all or any of my shadows, and then I'd use the bigger brushes to kind of blend out. I have a similar brush from Target. This is just their Up and Up brand, and it's called a medium shadow brush. And it's basically the same thing. It's not quite as fluffy, there aren't as many bristles, but that's fine. I haven't had any problems with it. It does essentially the same job, so I guess that's a matter of preference for anybody who uses them, but they're, you know, pretty much the same brush. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to eyeliner brushes. I'm going to start with my EcoTools one. This is an EcoTools angled eyeliner brush. There is a big thing about angled versus flat, and then there's also this kind of smudgy brush. This one's from Tarte, which I'll talk about later. But there are a couple different kinds of liners, as well as this kind of really thin, you know, almost paintbrush, more paintbrush-like tip or brush. So there's a couple of different kind of eyeliners. A lot of people think that with angled brushes you have a lot more control. I don't really have a preference. I don't actually really use this often. Day to day I don't wear a lot of eyeliner, mostly mascara, so I don't use it very often, but I do, whenever I do use eyeliner, I tend to use this one. It's been working out just fine for me. Next I have this Revlon brush, which I bought at the same time as I did the contour brush. This is called their eyeliner brush, and this is a flat top eyeliner brush, or a, you know, straight eyeliner brush. I usually use this to fill in my brows. I do, in comparison with the angled brush, I do feel like I have more control with this angled brush. Whereas with this one I feel like it's kind of hard to get into the corners of my eyes. So I tend to use this for filling in my eyebrows, and it works just fine. Next I have this angled eyeliner brush from the Hello Kitty set, and like I said, I don't really use it, but it has, you know, it performs the same function as the other angled eyeliner brush. Next is this eyeliner brush from Tarte. This came in a special edition set that I got a few years back, 2 years back, the same time as the Hello Kitty set. And I don't use it that often, but I have used it before. this is their thin-tipped, tapered eyeliner brush, and this is probably good for gel liners, which I don't use and don't have, but I would like to in the future. And this is to get like a really, really thin line, and it's great for control. The other end, it's a dual-ended brush, as you can see. The other end is this more smudge brush, which I really like to get a smoky effect, or if I want a thicker line with shadow. I really like this. I don't use it that often, but it's a nice brush. Okay, so then to finish up, I have 2 more brushes and then we're done. Okay, so this is another brush from Sonia Kashuk, and this is her spoolie. When I first heard about spoolies, I was like, oh, that's what that is, because I always thought that when people used these, they were using old or cleaned off mascara applicators, which is essentially kind of what a spoolie is, or at least that's what I thought it was. But then I started seeing people use it to brush out their eyebrows, and I was like, oh, like, where do you even get that? And I just happened to find this one in Target maybe a year ago, and I use it all the time. I never really filled in my eyebrows that much before, as in 2 or 3 years ago. But now that I have this and I have more makeup, I do fill in my eyebrows, especially with my colored hair. They tend to get lost. This is an infinitely useful tool, and I use it all the time. It actually broke, but I managed to screw this piece back into the actual wand, and it works fine. I just have to be careful when I wash it. But other than that, I mean, it's a really great tool. But literally, you just use it to brush your eyebrows. So, I mean, that's what I use it for, and you see me use it. And then, like I mentioned before, I have this last Hello Kitty brush from that Hello Kitty set, and this is the lip brush. I don't really use lip brushes. I don't use lipstick that often. Not that you have to restrict using lip brushes to just lipstick. But that's what I see most people use it for. I just use the lipstick, the lip gloss, whatever lip product right from the container. I use it on my lips, or I use my finger. I don't use any of my lip products on anybody else. They're all of mine, so I understand why you would use these for sanitizing, purposes, or sanitary purposes, but I don't usually use it. It's actually, I haven't used it one time at all since I've gotten it. But it's kind of a nice case. It's metallic. I don't like metallic finished things in general because they get all fingerprinty, and I don't really like that. If you have something with a wooden handle or with a lacquered handle like this, I feel like it's a little bit better. But that's completely up to, whomever buys the products. But yeah, so those are all of the brushes that I own and use, and I just thought it might be kind of nice to give you guys that little informational session about brushes. I'm not an expert, and I couldn't, type up a paper about all of these brushes and how they're used all the time, but from, watching all of these tutorials online and just kind of figuring it out by myself, I figured out what brushes are used for what, and how to use them. So, like I said, I'd really like to save up to get some really nice quality brushes to use on other people, and I'd like to get a set for myself as well. But for right now, I really don't have very many problems with my brushes, and I don't think that necessarily going for a big name like MAC or Sigma is necessarily better than getting brushes that you can get from a drugstore, because I've had very positive experiences with most of my brushes except for a couple of Sonia Kashuk incidences. But yeah, so that's it. If you would like to see me do more videos like this where I kind of go over the products that I use in more detail, I can certainly do that. I would love to do a video on, what I have in my day-to-day makeup bag, or my everyday makeup bag. But I'll save that for another time since this is already 30 minutes long. But I just wanted to do this video for you, and I thought while I had a free second I would do that. So I will see you guys next time, and I hope that you are having a great week. And Valentine's Day is coming up, so make sure to check out my Valentine's Day look video. It's a convertible video, so it's a little bit long, but it's worth it. So check it out, and I hope that you guys have a great week, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye!